Well, good morning YouTubers, and welcome back to the David Swordplay channel. We're just about to take the Moto Guzzi out to do a bit of airflow testing in a very crude way. I noticed on the new 2024 V85TTs they have a little air deflector, and they've altered the top of the front of the tank slightly. So I'm going to have a little play myself and see if I can replicate something similar. So I hope you come along for the experiment, and if you do like this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. Okay YouTubers, here we go. I've got some wool strands taped to the front of the tank, and hopefully, although it's quite windy today, we can see in what direction the air is moving around the front of the tank. That's the idea anyway. So let's see how we get on. This is about the first dry day we've had in a fortnight to be able to get out on the bike and do this little experiment. Obviously I've been very bored in the couple of weeks that we've had rain and hadn't had a chance to get out on the bike. And what we intend to do is fit some air deflectors I've made, very similar to the new 2024 V86TT Travel, although they've combined that with a new windscreen. We'll actually see if it deflects the air around the front of the tank area, which a lot of people seem to think causes a lot of turbulence and head buffeting. Now, I'm not convinced about that, so this is why, in this crude way, I'm doing this little experiment. I'm just made some brackets to mount the air deflectors on that I've made, and I just painted them up, and I just want to let them dry, and then I'll put them back on the bike and we'll go for another ride to see if this airflow that we're seeing now, moving the cotton or the wool about. This is an old school way of doing airflow testing. The new way is called computational fluid dynamics, and this is how we used to do it on the old days when we didn't have all these fancy computer systems to find out where the air was going on race car bodies. Now, it might prove inconclusive. I don't actually know till we've fitted the deflectors, but it was just a bit of a fun thing to do while the weather was bad. So this is the first time I've had the chance to get out on the bike. Fortunately it is a bit blowy today, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the airstream. Now we're getting quite a lot of movement on these two tunnel, what I call tunnel for the front struts. Seems to be a lot of movement going up there, but it could be it's just actually very gusty, as you can hear. So I'm just going to nip down the coach road because it's probably the flattest piece of road we've got. Unfortunately the wind's blowing a hoolie off the sea at the moment. As you can hear, but it doesn't seem to be affected. The airflow on the wall. Now, people would tell you that aerodynamics don't come into play until after 45 mile an hour or there or thereabouts. I'm not an aerodynamicist, so I don't know about that, but it's just a very crude experiment to find out whether the airflow is being affected. As we get up to 71 miles an hour. So, that's the first little test. We've now got to wait for the brackets to dry that I've made. As I say, they're a bit rudimentary, but it'll do for the experiment, and if it does actually work, these deflectors, I'll put a picture up on the screen of the deflectors on the new 2024 V86TT. I've made mine out of, if you remember, if you've watched my videos before, when we were in France, I used to have a linear deflector on there with a central mounting. Well, I've cut that in half, made some brackets to fit it on either side of the frame, as you'll see when I put them on, and hopefully it will deflect some of the air around me. Welcome back, YouTubers. We've now fitted the little homemade air deflectors on, and we're now going to test them on the same route, see what kind of difference they make. As yet, getting a smoother airstream along the side of the tank. As far as I can tell with my little bits of wool. We'll soon find out when we get on the coast road whether we've made any difference or not. And what we seem to be getting now is more air coming up the fork cutouts at the front of the tank so far. So am I feeling any benefit? Well, yes, I am actually. There is a bit of more calmness behind the screen because of those deflectors. Whether it's worthwhile, I'd have to wait till we get, again, we've got quite blustery conditions. We've got a smoother airflow around the tank. I'll have to compare the two videos before and after when I get to edit the video. It will certainly help with the airflow around my bulk of a body. here we go. One thing about them, they still stayed on the bike, so seems to be working quite well. Quite pleased with the looks of them. What we need to prove is that are they a worthwhile addition, or do we put them in the bin, basically. I suppose there's a little bit more weather protection. So yeah, I've enjoyed the little project. I've used, as you will see from the video, something that I was going to scrap anyway, so really this project's cost me about $9.99 for some Kawasaki windscreen bolts off Amazon, which were green, so I thought they'd look nice on the bike. Pack of 10, I've used 8, and again the old windscreen extension I had on when we were touring France, it got in the way of the camera, so what I did was I took the central mounting off it, cut it in half with a jigsaw with a fine tooth blade, and smoothed the cuts off with 1000 grit wet and dry to smooth off the edges. Drilled, obviously got to be careful drilling the holes through the Lexan or polycarbonate or whatever it is, and masking tape on both sides when you're drilling the holes, and just take your time really, make sure you've got a good centre pot mark so the drill doesn't wander off. And a bit of alley plate, which I'll show you when we get back to the garage. That's what I've used. I think it looks okay, but you can obviously tell me what you think. And go back up the road with the wind to see what kind of flow we're getting. Quite pleased with the looks of them. What we need to prove is that are they a worthwhile addition, or do we put them in the bin, basically. I suppose there's a little bit more weather protection. It seems to be working quite well, but as I say, we'll have to compare the two. I'm getting a more linear flow, which is a lot better than vortex type of flow. I'll give it a rattle test over this bumpy road. Everything appears to be still on, still tight. Of course we'll have to get the verdict of Brian and Tony, or as Brian would say, I've put it through scrutinous hearing, and if they don't like it, obviously I'll put their comments in below this video. So this is David Swordplay saying thank you very much for watching the channel. Thank you for being with me today. I hope you've enjoyed this little video. We should hopefully be getting a group ride out soon. Tony's away on holiday at the minute, and Brian doesn't want to bring his nice chrome Harley out in the poor conditions, but soon we'll be getting out on a group ride. So again, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please leave a like, consider subscribing if you haven't already done so. We'd love to have you along, and leave your comments on what you think about the deflectors. So thanks for watching.